On July 14th, at exactly 5:43 in the morning Eastern Time, the sky went completely dark, and if you felt restless, foggy, or like you're standing on the edge of something enormous over the last 2 days, you're not imagining it. The next 48 hours will change everything. Don't look away. You already know the moment, 5:43 in the morning, when the sky went completely dark. Not cloudy, not dim. The total, moonless dark that only happens once a month, when the moon slips directly between the Earth and the Sun and disappears from view entirely. That moment is called a new moon, and this one was not ordinary. Just 1 day before, the moon reached perigee, the closest point in its orbit to Earth, roughly 223,000 miles away. When a new moon lines up this close to perigee, it becomes what many call a super new moon. You cannot see it. There is no glowing orb to point to in the sky, but you can feel it, because proximity amplifies pull. The gravitational force is stronger. The tides swell higher, and if the moon can move entire oceans from that distance, imagine what it is doing to the water inside you, because your body, like the Earth, is mostly water too. This new moon did not land in just any sign. It landed in Cancer, the sign of home, memory, family, roots, and emotional truth. Cancer does not care about your resume or your 5-year plan. Cancer asks one question, and it asks it quietly, in the dark. Do you feel safe? Do you feel like you belong? To yourself? To your life? To the people around you? A Cancer new moon does not announce itself with fireworks. It moves like tide water, slow and certain, finding every crack in the walls you built and softening them from the inside out. There is something else. This is the first new moon of summer, the first lunar reset after the solstice, after the longest light of the year had already come and gone. Every ending needs a doorway to walk through. And this is it, a season closing, a season opening, and you standing right at the threshold, whether you asked to be there or not. Here is what most people don't realize about a new moon. It is not a beginning. Not yet. It is the pause before the beginning, the held breath, the canvas before the first brushstroke, the silence right before someone speaks the sentence that changes everything. Nothing is visible yet. Nothing feels resolved yet. And that is exactly the point. The moon had to disappear completely before it could return as something new. If you have felt foggy the last day or two, if your sleep has been strange, if your emotions have felt closer to the surface than usual, if you have found yourself staring at nothing, replaying old memories you thought you'd already healed, this is why. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are standing inside one of the most potent lunar resets of the entire year, and your body knew before your mind caught up. The moon has already turned and started forming again into a sliver of light, and that sliver is not just returning to the sky, it is returning inside you. Every new moon opens what many spiritual teachers call a download window, a short stretch of time when the veil between your conscious mind and your deeper knowing grows thin. Normally, that window lasts a few hours, this time because of how close the moon sits to Earth and how deeply it is rooted in Cancer. That window has stretched into the first 48 hours following the exact moment of alignment, which means right now, if you're watching this on July 15th or 16th, you are still standing inside it. Here is what that actually feels like in a body, not just in theory. It might show up as exhaustion that sleep doesn't fix, a bone-deep tiredness, like your system is working overtime on something you can't see. It might show up as tears, rising out of nowhere, attached to nothing you can name. It might show up as dreams that feel unusually vivid, layered, symbolic, the kind you wake up from and just lie there, staring at the ceiling, trying to understand what you just lived through. It might show up as old memories resurfacing uninvited, a person, a place, a version of yourself you thought you'd already closed the door on. None of that is a malfunction. That is the process working exactly as it should. Cancer does not process the world through logic. Cancer processes through feeling first, understanding second. So a Cancer new moon does not arrive with a neat explanation attached. It arrives as sensation, heaviness in the chest, a lump in the throat, a pull toward home, toward comfort, toward whatever or whoever makes you feel safe. Your nervous system is doing the work before your conscious mind has caught up to what that work even is. This is not weakness. This is your deepest wiring finally being allowed to speak, because the noise of the world has gone quiet enough for just a moment to let it through. This is why the first 48 hours matter so much. Whatever surfaces in this window, the person you suddenly think of, the thing you can't stop feeling, the decision that keeps circling back, is rarely random. In esoteric traditions, the hours immediately following a new moon are considered the most sacred for planting seeds, because whatever takes root here tends to grow into the shape of the coming month, sometimes the coming season. You are not just living through 48 ordinary hours. You are standing in a threshold, the kind of in-between space where old identities loosen their grip and new ones haven't fully formed yet. Think of it like dusk, not day, not night, something else entirely, a space where the rules of daylight no longer apply and the rules of darkness haven't taken over yet. That is exactly where you are standing right now. And thresholds, uncomfortable as they can feel, are where the deepest transformation always happens. Nothing changes in the middle of a well-lit room you already know by heart. It changes in the doorway, in the dark, in the pause between what was and what's coming. So if these last 2 days have felt heavier, stranger, more emotional than usual, stay with it. You are exactly where you are supposed to be. During a threshold window like this one, the universe doesn't usually speak in full sentences. It speaks in signs, small, repeated nudges, designed to get your attention without overwhelming you. And if you've been paying attention at all over the last day or two, chances are you've already noticed at least one of these. Repeating numbers are often the first sign people report. 11:11 on the clock, 222 on a receipt, 333 on a license plate that pulls in front of you at exactly the wrong or exactly the right moment. These numbers are not decoration. In numerology, they are considered confirmation, the universe's way of saying, yes, you're on the right frequency, keep going. If a number has been following you, it is not coincidence, it is correspondence. The second sign is a person resurfacing, someone from your past suddenly crossing your mind, texting you out of nowhere, or appearing in a dream after months or years of silence. Cancer rules memory, roots, and unfinished emotional business. A Cancer new moon has a way of pulling old threads back to the surface, not always to reunite you, but sometimes simply to let you finally release what was never fully resolved. Pay attention to how the memory feels. Warm and grounding usually means welcome home. Heavy and draining usually means it's time to let go, for good this time. The third sign is a sudden ending, a job that falls away, a friendship that quietly fades, a living situation that no longer fits, arriving with almost no explanation. These endings can feel unsettling, even frightening. But endings that arrive during a new moon window are rarely punishment. They are pruning. Something had to make space before the new could take root, and the universe, in its own timing, is doing that work for you. The fourth sign is your intuition getting louder, more insistent, harder to talk yourself out of. A gut feeling about a person, a pull toward a decision you've been avoiding, a quiet, steady knowing that doesn't shout but also refuses to stay silent. Under a Cancer super new moon, intuition sharpens because the emotional body, the part of you that senses truth before the mind can explain it, is wide open right now. And the fifth sign, quieter than the rest, waking up at the same time each night, often somewhere between 2 and 4 in the morning, for no obvious reason. Many spiritual traditions consider these hours a time when the veil is thinnest, when insights and messages move most easily between the seen and unseen. If you've been waking in the middle of the night this week, you have not been sleeping badly. You have been receiving. If even one of these has happened to you in the last 2 days, this is not random. You were meant to see this video. Stay with me, because what's happening beneath these signs is bigger than any single sign on its own. Underneath the signs, underneath the strange dreams and the sudden tears and the numbers following you everywhere, something bigger is moving. This new moon is not really about the sky. It is about you and the version of yourself that has been quietly, patiently waiting for permission to arrive. Every Cancer season asks the same question in 100 different disguises. Where do you actually feel safe? Not performatively safe. Not the kind of safe you perform for other people so they don't worry about you. Actually safe. In your body. In your choices. In the life you're building. For many people, the honest answer to that question has been no for a long time. And a super new moon in Cancer has a way of making that no impossible to keep ignoring. So if you have felt something dying in you lately, an old identity you've outgrown, a version of yourself that stayed small to keep the peace, a belief that you had to earn love by shrinking, that death is not a crisis, it is the entire point. Nothing new can be born in a space that's still occupied by something old. The moon disappeared completely before it could return as light. You are being asked to do the same. This is soul-level work, not surface-level adjustment. It is not about a new morning routine or a better planner. It is about the quiet, private relationship you have with yourself, whether you trust your own voice over the noise of everyone else's expectations, whether you can sit with your own emotions without immediately trying to fix, numb, or explain them away. Cancer energy does not ask you to perform healing. It asks you to feel it all the way through, even the uncomfortable parts, especially the uncomfortable parts. What is being born on the other side of this window is not loud. It rarely announces itself with fireworks or certainty. It shows up as a slightly steadier breath, a boundary you didn't have the strength to hold a month ago, a relationship you finally see clearly, for better or worse, a pull toward home, whether that means an actual house, a person, or simply the feeling of being at peace inside your own skin. That pull is not small. That pull is your soul recognizing the doorway it has been walking toward for longer than you realized. You did not stumble onto this video by accident. Something in you is ready, even if the rest of you is still catching up, even if you can't yet name exactly what's shifting. Trust that. The moon does not rush its return to light. It builds slowly, night by night, sliver by sliver, until one day you look up and it's full again. Your transformation is going to move the same way, not all at once, not on command, but steadily, faithfully, in its own perfect time. And this 48-hour window is where the very first sliver of that light begins. Knowing what's happening is one thing. Knowing what to do with it is another. So here is how to actually move through these 48 hours instead of just surviving them. Start with your environment. Cancer energy is deeply tied to home, so cluttered, chaotic spaces will feel louder than usual right now. You don't need to deep clean your entire life in one sitting. Just clear one surface, open one window, change one sheet on the bed. Small acts of care toward your physical space send a signal to your nervous system that you are safe enough to receive what's coming. Next, get quiet on purpose. Not scrolling quiet. Actually quiet. 5 or 10 minutes with no phone, no noise, just your own breath and whatever wants to surface. Cancer energy speaks softly, and it will not compete with a notification feed for your attention. If you want to hear what your intuition has been trying to tell you, you have to give it room where nothing else is louder. Journaling is especially powerful in this window, and you don't need elaborate prompts to make it work. Try finishing this sentence without editing yourself. Right now, I feel safest when... or this one. The thing I keep avoiding feeling is, whatever comes out, let it come out messy. This is not for anyone else to read. It is simply a way of letting what's underneath finally reach the surface, instead of staying buried where it quietly drains your energy. If something needs to be released, an old grudge, a tired identity, a relationship that's already over in every way except on paper, write it down. Just a few honest sentences. Then, if it feels right, tear the page or set it somewhere safe and simply let it be finished. This is not about performing a perfect ritual. It's about giving your mind and body a clear, physical signal. This chapter is closed. Because Cancer rules water, water itself becomes a powerful tool right now. A bath, a shower, held a few seconds longer than usual with the intention of letting the day rinse off of you. A tall glass of water, sipped slowly, with a moment of thanks before you drink it. These are small, ordinary acts, but ordinary acts done with intention are exactly how spiritual transformation actually happens, quietly, in the middle of an unremarkable Tuesday, not in some dramatic lightning bolt moment. And above all, resist the urge to force a decision in the next 2 days. New moon energy is for planting, not harvesting. Whatever is stirring in you right now needs time to take root before it needs action. Set the intention. Feel what needs to be felt. Let the seed sit in the dark a little longer. The moment for the next step will make itself obvious. It always does. Your only job right now is to stay present enough to notice when it arrives. So here is what I want you to remember. Walking away from this video, you are not falling apart, and you are not behind. You are standing inside one of the most powerful lunar windows of the entire year, and everything you have felt over the last 2 days, the exhaustion, the tears, the memories, the signs, has been the universe preparing you for what comes next. If this resonated with you even a little, do 3 things before you go. First, subscribe, because this channel tracks every major shift in the sky, so you never miss a window like this one again. Second, drop a comment and tell me your zodiac sign, or which sign in this video hit hardest. I read every single one, and it helps me know exactly what to cover next. And third, if you know someone who's had a strange, heavy, emotional few days, send them this video. They may need to hear it even more than you did. Next video, we're going deeper. What this super new moon means for each individual zodiac sign, and the exact energy heading your way before the month is over. Until then, be gentle with yourself. The moon is returning to the light, slowly, faithfully. So are you. I'll see you in the next one.